Our next question is from Deborah from Denham Springs, Louisiana. She asked, what steps are you or is Canada taking to remove the ideas from Americans that we, Canadians, are, as the Olympic closing ceremony played with, not a nation of igloos, mounties, and beaver hunters? Canada is one of Louisiana's largest trading partners, yet the residents do not have a clue.
I think that's true. It's like a good neighbor. You don't, if there's no conflict and you have a friendly relationship, it doesn't get a lot of attention. You kind of, it becomes comfortable but not controversial. And the bottom line, I think we got to keep our message very simple. We are your largest consumer of products from the United States. Number two, there's more Canadians, 25 million visits of Canadians for a country of 35 million people to the United States than any other country. So we're your largest tourism market. And thirdly, we're your largest supplier of reliable energy called oil. And we also supply natural gas and hydroelectric power. But the bottom line is we buy more of your goods, we have more of our people coming in the United States, and we're your most reliable supplier of energy for your economy. So that's a very simple message, and you got to keep it very simple to remind the Americans why this relationship is beyond just the kind of drama of the Olympic opening and closing ceremonies, which of course we made sure we poked a little fun at ourselves too, consistent with Canadian culture.
Our next question is a very timely question from Carol from Las Cruces, New Mexico. How is Canada dealing with the opening up of the Northwest Passage? Is the Northwest Passage a good thing or a bad thing for Canada?
Well, we know that the ice is melting in many parts of the northern world or planet, and whether it's good or bad, it's happening. It does represent threats, and it does represent opportunity. The threat, of course, is to the environment. The threat is also to species, and we're obviously concerned about that. The other side of that is if the Northwest Passage opens up, and there's still lots of ice in the Northwest Passage. I don't want to make it sound like it's just moving just down the intercoastal highway of Canada or United States or Mexico, but the whole issue of being closer to some of the Asian markets becomes a potential opportunity. But you're going to have to make sure that any kind of shipping is safe. Safe not only for the people that are on the ships, but also for the environment. We'd have to make sure that there's capacity to have increased search and rescue in a very, very barren land, and that we have protocols in place between people that are going to use the Northwest Passage. Certainly Canada will maintain its sovereignty in the areas which we are sovereign, but it presents an opportunity of distance, but it still has lots of challenges for species and transportation.
Well, we'll end on a serious note.
Okay.
You're a Minnesota Vikings fan. What's your prediction? Will Brett Favre return next season, or will he retire for good?
He's going to return, and the Chicago Blackhawks will play the Washington Capitals in the Stanley Cup Finals.
It's a very brave prediction, sir. Thank you for your time, Ambassador.
And all three of those predictions may not become true.
And thank you to all the Connect to Canada members who submitted a question for this episode. If you'd like to submit a question for a future episode, please go to the Connect to Canada website and click on the Ask the Ambassador section. For this episode, we received many questions regarding specific immigration, border, and visa issues. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, we were unable to answer these questions on this podcast. However, we encourage you to go to the Connect to Canada website and click on the FAQ link. This is a great resource and has answers to the questions we receive most often. We'd also like to hear from you about this podcast. Please leave us your feedback at podcast@canadianembassy.org. Thanks for tuning in.